Good evening, YouTube, and good evening, Houston, and good evening to you, wherever you are. I don't know where you are, but that's okay, because half the time I don't know where I am. But I know you know where you are, and that's what counts. But anyway, a lot has happened in the last few days, about 5 days now, here in Houston. It's historical, and this is also kind of catastrophic, if you want to say that. Last Thursday on May 17th, two EF-1 tornadoes touched down in downtown Houston, right around Louisiana Street and Dallas Street, right near the Wells Fargo Tower, which is the second tallest tower in the state of Texas. And right, also ironically, right next to the CenterPoint Energy building, the power company's headquarters, received a lot of damage too. Windows have been busted out in all kinds of buildings in that area. There was glass everywhere. There's still glass in the streets today. They're still cleaning up. There's blocked off streets, state police and Houston police. They're replacing windows, because seriously, it's a mess, you know. And I was down there today. I was trying to do a video, show some of the scenes, but something came up wrong with the video, and I deleted it. Audio wasn't working too well. But yeah, I'm going to try and redo it tomorrow or the next day. And but yeah, power was knocked out to over 1 million people in Houston area, including my apartment right here. We just got our power back yesterday. Let's see, on Monday. Yeah, on Monday, 3:30 p.m. our power came back on. So that's all. I mean, you can tell I got lights in here and my air conditioner's running. My apartment's cooled off because it was miserably hot the last few days here, and trying to sleep in this mess was terrible. Luckily, I had candles. I had some good candles with like 3 wicks in it. I had a 2-wick candle, so everything was sitting right here on this little folding table. I got my camera on and my tripod, and I'll never take things like the candles for granted again, or the little flashlight that I have. I also have a headlamp that's really bright lights, different shades of brightness, and that really came in handy. And plus the battery-powered boombox that I have, and able to listen to some news or music to help me relax at night, because I did not sleep too well. I was sleeping on this recliner right here, trying to sleep. I did not want to lay in bed because it was so hot and sweaty. You know, when you lay on a bed and you're sweaty and the sheets stick to you, and you can't sleep. You just want to get up and move. So I'm pretty much like dozing off on this recliner as much as I can to get some sleep at least, because I still had to go to work. And the restaurant I worked at, you know, is fine. And what happened is, like last Thursday, like I said, we went to work. I got 2 co-workers, a couple of friends of mine living downstairs in this building here. And I go to work, and the other 2 show up a little bit later before service starts. And you know, it's a regular day. I go inside, and it's starting to look a little dark outside. I'm like, you know, they were talking about a storm, and like just after we opened, there was already some diners eating in the restaurant. I don't remember how many reservations we had that night, but yeah, there's people in there, and it starts pouring down rain. I looked out the window on the line in the kitchen, and yeah, the skies are black, pouring down rain. I saw trees next to us, like they're swirling around, the tops are swirling around pretty violently. Our electricity went off for like a few seconds, maybe 20 seconds, comes back on, it goes back off again. Did that a few times. People are still dying, and I'm sitting there, I'm actually kind of like, what's going on, you know? And we got phone alerts, weather alerts on our phone saying, take shelter, tornado warnings, possible catastrophic winds up to 80 miles an hour. So yeah, you know, it's kind of scary. We continued to work, and a little bit later, the sky kind of cleared up again. The rain went away. The wind kind of settled down. It moved through fast, you know. And then later on, I called the landlord where I live and asked him, "Hey, is the building okay, man? We just had that violent storm come through here." And he's like, "No, the building I live in has 2 trees outside that toppled over, landed on some power lines. One tree on this side of the building, actually, top of it landed on the transformer boxes on the power pole out here, and another tree out here kind of toppled over, landed up against another power pole and on top of a dumpster out there too. And so the power was out. We finished our shift at work and got home. We ended up taking an Uber to get home a little quicker than riding the bus. And when we got to the neighborhood, it was black, pitch black out here. No lights were on in this neighborhood. There was only lights on like around downtown. Even the transit system, the light rail train was off. There's no electricity going through the lines, and probably the other light rail trains going in other directions. We get dropped off at our house, or the building we live in, the apartments, and we get out, and of course we got our phone lights on, and we're being careful because there are down power lines out. And so we get into the building, and you know, my two co-workers, my friend Alice, she goes to check her two cats, you know, make sure her cats are fine, and my other co-worker has a cat too. He goes to check the cat. The cats are fine. Probably a little freaked out or something. They probably wonder what's going on. And I came upstairs to check my ceiling because I'm on the top floor. There's a two-story apartment building here, and I'm on the second floor. My ceiling's okay, you know, nothing's out except for the power's out, you know. And a little bit later, I'm sitting around, you know, just sitting there thinking. I'm trying to relax, you know. I had some candles lit. I had my radio on. And next thing I know, right outside here, I hear electrical outlet. You know, when the transformers blow, it makes a loud buzzing noise and lights the sky up green. And that's what was happening. It did like 4 times. So I go downstairs and I'm looking, and you see sparks coming down from the power pole. My coworker comes out, he heard it too, and I tell him, hey, there's a live wire up there, you know. And so I call 311 to report it. And basically all they said is, was there a fire on the pole? I'm like, no. And they said, oh, well, so if you see a fire on the pole, just call 911. I'm like, duh, you know. You know, and that was a big help, you know. And so I just hung up, you know. I said, no, I just need to relax. And I had my window open over here and my door to my apartment open, trying to get some circulation. It was a nice, cool night. There was a cool breeze coming through. It was kind of relaxing. I managed to lay back on this recliner right here. Got some rest, and next morning, you know, actually very early in the morning because I didn't sleep my full, how I do. And the next morning I get up and, you know, I'm walking outside checking out the damage, you know, the trees on top of the power line out there. Luckily my landlord and his girlfriend's car wasn't parked right there because the tree was like right there in the spots where they park, and the top of the tree on the power line, so the sparks would have fallen down on their vehicles. And the next, this tree over here was like on another power pole on top of the dumpster out here. And in the building right next to us is a business, a small business. It's like a coffee distribution place. They sell coffee and water bubblers to businesses. And so they were out here checking things out, and they were still trying to work, you know. There's no electricity, but they still were moving their vehicles and their forklifts around. So, and then, you know, some other people, my coworkers, they started calling the power company and telling them what's going on. There's power lines down and a tree on top of it, and they say, yeah, we'll get to it, yeah. You know, they still didn't show up until like Monday, and they showed up because the landlord's girlfriend called the power company and told them, look, there's a live wire, there's a tree. But they listened to her for some reason, unless they just already planned on coming out here. But, you know, finally they started showing up out here. This company from Oklahoma, Imperium City Utilities, they're a power company, and then another tree service had to come out, cut the branches off the power lines out there, and this tree over here and some tree down the street. They had like, it was like at least 15 like power company trucks going down this road that I live on, and some roads on the other side. They did a lot of cleaning up, and there was damage in my neighborhood done, like structural damage. There's a construction site right around the corner where I live. They're building townhouses, and some of the frames of the townhouses were knocked down. The roof's caved in. Another one's completely down, it looks like. And it was standing up the other day. I saw it, but now it's totally down because it was shifted. You could tell it was shifted to the side. I guess it just finally just went down the rest of the way. The other two frames, they look all right. They're still there. But there was some major damage, and plus this old abandoned building that a couple blocks away, that used to be a bodega back in the like early 60s or late 1950s, has a lot of structural damage. It's been abandoned since for years and years, decades. Anyway, it looks a lot worse than now than it did then, you know. But it's just, you know, sad to see that happen. It's such an old building, old business. It's of course no longer around, but still, because the owner of this burger joint that lives is right down the street from me. The guy that owns this burger restaurant, his grandfather owned that bodega, and that's like family land down there. And he was telling me about, yeah, that was his grandfather's, and there's a bodega back in the day. So anyway, that's probably going to be torn down now. That's kind of sad. You know, it's been sitting there since 11 years. I've lived in this neighborhood, and it's always been an empty building. It looked a lot better until just recently, because it's like a patio roof. It's just caved in. You can see straight into the store. And like downtown, I went downtown, and there's like windows shattered out of skyscrapers. There's glass all over the streets. In certain areas, you can still see the glass in the streets. They're cleaning up as much as they can, but they got like roads blocked off, and they're trying to replace windows on these tall skyscrapers. I mean, some really tall skyscrapers, especially the Wells Fargo Plaza, which is, like I said, is the second tallest building in the whole state of Texas. And so they're trying to get everything cleaned up and get windows back in the buildings, get people back to work. I don't know if they have electricity in them. I would think, since it's a big major building, it has to have some kind of electricity in it. Maybe, anyway, but yeah, there's several blocks that are blocked off by police, and they're working and cleaning up. And I'm gonna try and redo the video I did today, because you can just notice boarded up windows and windows missing from buildings, and it's a mess everywhere. And but what we've been doing here is, like, we stayed through the power outage, and our only one person left is this woman that lives next door to me. She's pretty cool, but she decided she wanted to leave because the guy below me said she left because when the trees out here fell over, you know, it made quite a noise hitting the transformer out there and sending sparks everywhere. So she went to stay with a friend. She's back now. I saw her a while ago. And but we stayed here and just made the best of it. Like I said, I had the best things with me. I had some good candles, and my battery-powered radio, a little boom box, plenty of water, a flashlight too, a battery-powered flashlight, and I have a couple of, like, these handheld fans you can battery operate, and you can spray a little water mist on you with it. I bought those at a CVS, you know, and bought the candles too, so I'd have plenty of candles here. You know, I had plenty to eat. I didn't want to open my refrigerator, and I didn't. The first night I did just get a couple sandwiches made, but then I had non-refrigerated stuff in my cabinet over here that's okay. Like, I had peanut butter and bread and stuff like that I could eat. But you know, we made it through. As miserable as it was, sweaty and all this, we were taking showers. Like, I live upstairs, and I was the only one upstairs in this building, so I'm just hogging the shower like every hour or so just to cool off and get the sweat off you. You gotta do what you gotta do. But they were also saying on the news, these two tornadoes had about the same amount of force as Hurricane Ike did in 2008, which came through Houston as a Category 2 hurricane back in 2008, and they're comparing it to that, with the kind of wind damage that's all over Houston. Trees are down everywhere, not just downtown, but like a mile and a half way over here, other directions, north side. You know, it did a lot of sustained, you know, serious damage. And our mayor, John Whitmire, is you know, making sure everything's getting done, people are getting the help they need. He's concerned for the elderly and children, and that still have no electricity, because tonight there's like 94,000 people without electricity, when there was over 1 million. So they're getting the power back on, and he wants people to, you know, stay healthy and get their, you know, lives back together and not suffocate in this heat that's been happening, because the humidity has gone up. Yesterday, the feel-like temperature heat index was 95 degrees because the humidity is that bad. and you don't want to be caught in that. Um, Also, the mayor was also saying, yeah, when the storm happened, he was at a little league baseball game, and the storm just rolled in, just started causing destruction and chaos, and people started getting out of there, and he got out of there, and like everyone was safe. And like I said, however, somewhere 4 people did perish from the tornadoes, including one man that they had on TV. He was a concrete mixer truck driver, a cement truck, and a crane fell at a construction site and landed right on his truck. And actually, the family is suing because why was he there, in the middle of a storm? But I don't know. The storm moved fast, so fast, or maybe they had some kind of warning. But maybe the man shouldn't have been there, and they made him be there. So they're trying to file a lawsuit. And anyway. Hopefully everything's okay. I mean, things are better here. I mean, like I said, we got electricity. I had to go to the grocery store at night and restock my fridge because a lot of my stuff I throw away. After 4 days of no electricity, you don't want to trust much in the refrigerators. So I just had to spend more money. Yeah, and I got that done. I'm just glad everyone else around me is safe and going along, and I got to work tomorrow, and I still worked for the last 4 days, just coming out to a dark house, and it was kind of weird, living in such a quiet building too, because this is an old building I live in. It's kind of creepy. It has that effect, like you're walking. It's a communal living too. We all share a kitchen, and there's 2 bathrooms we all share. We all get together and help clean it. But anyway, you're walking in the hall in the dark, even if I had my headlamp on, it's still creepy out there because you see shadows more, you see the light shadows, and you can hear things outside, like especially the trains. When it's so quiet, you can hear the trains that are nearby. And my mind is just playing tricks on me. I was expecting to see like Ghost or something, or some horror movie type thing, which is kind of fun. Think about it, I was enjoying that, I'll just come back in here and have my radio on. I actually I don't really listen to the radio stations, but since I had to, I had it on 94.5 in Houston. It's called The Buzz, I think. They play a lot of classic 1990s type rock and roll, music, like Red Hot Chili Peppers, and up to bands like more recent, like Cage the Elephant, which I never really heard of, but they sounded pretty cool. They were playing songs I'd forgotten about, like on the radio I used to listen to when I lived in Boston, Massachusetts. They used to play on WBZN and BCN in Boston, and it was just bringing back memories of living in Boston, like all these old 90s songs and music and everything. And one day I actually was sitting there, had my YouTube on, watching YouTube videos right here with my tripod. I didn't want to waste my battery, and I was bringing my battery charger to work and just keeping it plugged in to work to have it fully charged. So we were doing it that way. And as far as food, we get fed at the restaurant before we work. There's what they call the family meal, and the chefs will whip up something together for all the employees to eat before shift starts. So I was doing that, and bringing some of it home just to have for the night. We're allowed to do that, so we're sharing leftovers. And anyway, and our general manager, she left. She ended up calling. She's coming back to the restaurant because she had no electricity, and she was trying to get into a hotel which were booked up. So many people were running the hotels, had electricity, and some people were being turned away. Like there was like a bunch of arguing too with the hotel clerks and people in the lobby, she said. So she just said she was going to grab her blankets and a pillow. She went back to the restaurant, camped out there for the night. She even pulled out the big screen TV we have at the restaurant, hooked it up to Netflix, and was watching movies and sleeping. Still electricity in the restaurant and everything. I said, you even had food there, why not cook something, And yeah, but we, this is like camping, because I used to ride freight trains, or ride up and down the East Coast, hitchhiking or whatever. It's kind of like that, don't have the luxuries, but I'm used to it sometimes. But I'm just glad our power is back on here. My air conditioner's on. Everything's back. My refrigerator has some food in it again, and I just hope people stay safe, because I said, when it comes to Mother Nature, you never know what's going to happen. I've been told it's rare, very rare, that a tornado will touch down in Houston, especially inside the 610 loop. And but it happened. 2 EF-1 tornadoes, and I've always been told it's really almost impossible. I've never seen it. I've been here 11 years, never heard of it or seen anything like that happening. And so you got to take the weather seriously sometimes, you know, and just don't blow it off. You know the weathermen aren't always right. Something that severe is coming, you know. Something to keep in mind. Take some actions if you have to. If I was downtown and suddenly happened, I would have gone down into the underground tunnels in Houston, because there's miles and miles of underground air-conditioned tunnels. There's little stores down there, and they did that for, you know, for the summer times. If instead of walking on the sidewalks and eat, you can walk underground, get places on the other streets. Pretty cool. And but anyway, I hope anyone seeing this video is okay getting your electricity back too. Some people got it sooner, some people get it later. We got ours Monday, and I just hope everyone's homes are okay. There's not any flooding, and everyone stays safe. And just keep watching the weather channels, or you know, pay attention to anything that pops up. If weather alert pops up and then the weather alert doesn't happen, it's great, but sometimes they do happen. You don't want to mess around with that. Anyway, I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna start getting ready to go to sleep. Gotta go to work. I gotta see about making a video downtown with some of the broken out windows, just to have something to do. And anyway, until I bring you some more random chaos, I'll bring you more random chaos next time. Stay safe, stay hydrated, get some good rest, and be happy. Talk to you later.